And this is it, another edition of Rock Talk right here on CGCM Rock Radio, where we talk rock because that's how we roll. My name is Bob Bannister, and joining us this time around is Emily Bones and Valerie Knox from the Anti-Queens, right in our own backyard.
Hello.
You girls in Toronto, right?
Scattered.
Ish.
We say, okay, when we travel and we play places, we say we're from Toronto. Emily started the band and is a Torontonian at heart forever, but she doesn't live in the city anymore. And I live in Ajax.
Okay, in the GTA.
I'm in the GTA. It counts.
And for anybody who's watching who doesn't know what the GTA is, that's the Greater Toronto Area. Anyway, latest single, Crusade, lot of fun. Loving that song. Love the album Disenchanted. Tell us a story about that. The album.
How much time you got?
How much time you want?
Thank you. That's very kind.
Well, it took us quite a while to write. I mean, we had a lot of freedom because we started writing right before the pandemic and the world shut down. So we did have quite a lot of time on our hands to write the songs, but we didn't get a whole lot of like in-person jam sessions or writing sessions or production sessions or even recording sessions together. It was kind of a weird experience.
It's very scattered, not to use that word again, but we were all over 2020, 2021, 2022, and even parts of 2023. We're still recording.
And it's interesting. That's a word I'm hearing a lot as I talk to people is as the world shut down, and it seems to be that now is the time that all these projects that were started back in the pandemic are coming out, and there are so many fantastic projects, and Disenchanted is one of them. And now you guys have just finally gotten your US visas to go down there and play. How exciting is that?
Finally.
It's exciting. It's just we had to cancel all the shows so far.
Oh.
We had a few shows at the beginning of the month we were anticipating having those visas for, and we didn't.
Oh no. So is it an outright cancellation or just a postponement?
I mean, a couple of them were with friends that we've played with or played for over the years many times. So it's more like just calling up your friend, like, hey, let's do a punk show. So we've actually are already working on rescheduling. We were supposed to play Indianapolis, Indiana, this past Saturday at one of our favorite clubs, the Melody Inn, for punk rock night. It's a built-in night. It's every Saturday night, punk rock night at the Melody Inn, and we've played it quite a few times, and we love it there. And we've got a bunch of pals there, and the promoters are great, and the venue's awesome, and we are very excited to do it. But we are in the process of rescheduling that one, but we need to work around some scheduling for the other shows we missed.
All right. So I see also you've got some guest spots on Disenchanted. You brought in where did I have it here? Brenna Red from the Last Gang on the opening track, Apocalypse. Tracy A from Cross Dog on Crusade as well. Tell us about those, about how that came about, getting the guest spots.
Well, Tracy's is a longtime friend of ours, and we're just like massive fans of Cross Dog. So
the biggest fans.
Yeah. Like,
we're in a music video.
We're obsessed.
Well, there you go.
We are obsessed. It's sickening if you ever see us around them.
Yeah, the fact that she even agreed to be on it is just questionable. But yeah, we wanted, I don't know, I think that part was just written for her, and she quite literally wrote that part. And I remember we sent it to her, and we told her what the song was about, and then we just let her have at it, and she sent us her track back, and we were like, yep, no notes, perfect.
Yep. It was one draft, that's it.
That is cool.
And then with Brenna, I can't really remember how we hooked up with her, to be honest.
I feel like Michael, our bass player, actually, he has a podcast, and I'm pretty sure he's interviewed her, and we've just connected. I feel like our bands know about each other, but because of like the pandemic, we haven't gone to the US since 2019, and and they've come up here once. We got to meet Brenna. Oh gosh, Emily, help me out. When was that? I want to say last
About a
year.
year ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the both
Anyways,
ends.
they came through Toronto with Bad Cop, and yeah, we just went and said hello, and yeah, it was cool. I can't remember really. I think we're just fans of each other's bands.
Very cool. So give
She's
us.
cool, by the way. Their band is awesome.
Yeah.
Last
Oh
name is
yeah.
wicked.
Her
Oh,
She's
voice is
got a.
just
I
insane
was just
too.
gonna say, hell of a voice.
and that's the thing. When you find somebody like that who's got that voice, who can just click, it's always a pleasure to work with them, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So give us the backstory of the anti-queens, the Cole's notes, I guess you could say. I just showed my age there. The Cole's notes.
How much time you got?
Again, same answer.
Yeah.
You circled back.
Takes a long time to interview us, you know, sometimes several months at a time. No, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Val has a better grip on the history better than I do, even though I started
The lore.
it.
I
Yeah.
wasn't even there for some of it.
Yeah.
No, actually, you take the first part, Em, and then I'll jump in.
It's always the years that I struggle with.
All I know is that you did the YouTube video with Sarah Blackwood and you covered Weezer and you were like, oh, we just changed our name. We're called the Anti-Queens now. And I'm pretty sure that's how you announced it.
What do you remember the year?
20, I want to say it's 2011.
Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, that was when we changed the name officially from Mittens to the Anti-Queens because we obviously needed to sound more tough if we were gonna go the punk rock route, which we were. And yeah, so we did two EPs with Sarah Blackwood's brother, Ian Blackwood, and he really taught me a whole lot about just like writing punk rock and yeah, honestly, I owe him a lot. But after that, we went on tour with Black Cat Attack, and we were a three-piece at the time, just me, a bass player, and a drummer. And we left the tour feeling like we needed a second guitar player because we watched Black Cat Attack shred every night. Sorry,
What
puppy
she's
in the
not
back.
telling you is that we also heckled them every night. Sorry, I'm in Black Cat Attack, and I took the Anti-Queens out on their first US tour before I was in the band. We crossed paths a few times. My other band, Black Cat, we played with the Mittens at the Cathedral in Toronto, and I remember they were covering the Misfits, and I thought that was really cool, and that stuck with me. And then we kept running into each other, and we played shows together, and we're like, oh, they want a tour too, and we hadn't met anyone that wanted to go down in the U.S., so they were game, and they came with us on an adventure, and we just harassed them the entire time because we really liked their songs. They're really great songs, and anyone listening should go check out those two first EPs. I know I'm not on it, but they are part of the reason why I'm in the band. So
That's how she signs the albums too. When we get asked,
true.
I'm not on this one.
I'm not on this
Valerie.
one. But it's true. We watched them play every night, and we loved them. We loved their songs, and we loved Emily's voice and the presence. And yeah, we're like, they just need another guitar player. Just beef it up a little. And then Emily showed up to one of my shows. So I keep pointing at her as if we're here together. I don't know. But Emily came to one of my shows in Toronto with Black Cat, and she said, I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to try out some guitar players. And I was just like, can it be me? So it's like very circumstantial. It looks like I kind of set this up. I didn't. It was innocent, and it just worked out really well in my favor.
It was a
Even
huge
if you did set it,
coincidence.
yeah, and even if she did set it up, like I was so pumped. I remember distinctly walking back from Cherry Colas that night, had quite a few drinks, but I was like so excited that she put her hand up to play guitar, and I called my bandmates and was like stumbling home, like, oh my God, Valerie wants to join our band. I'm like, what? Ah! Yeah, it's excessive. But
I love this story.
yeah.
But this is all entirely true. And I remember waking up the next day and like, did I join the Anti-Queens last night? Because I also had some drinks, and I was really excited. And then I think I played a couple, like I jumped on stage a couple times, just kind of getting used to it. And then I think I played my first show with them that year, 2015 in December.
So if a music fan like myself has never seen the Anti-Queens live, and I know that's bad, I have to do this. What can a music fan like myself expect to see at an Eddie Queen show?
Lots of hair. We flip our hair around. A lot of hair.
A lot of hair, a lot of sass. If anyone sasses us in the audience, we give it right back to them
Oh
like
yeah.
tenfold. We've
It's
got
true. We don't.
stories for days. Again, how
Oh
much
yeah.
time do you have? But
I don't want to encourage it, but we're really good at it. And this isn't a challenge. It's not enjoyable. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's not enjoyable to stop this show because someone's being, can I swear on here?
Absolutely.
Because someone's being a piece of shit, and being sexist or misogynistic. Like, if you want to heckle our band and say we suck, that's one thing. That's fun. That's just regular heckling. But we do get a lot of misogyny, maybe not as much as we used to, thankfully, because we are very aggressive about it when we have to be. But it is fun, and we will take the piss out of you, and we will embarrass you.
So hecklers,
and
you've been warned.
yes,
it's true. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to
Don't
like blow smoke up
apologize.
our own asses. No, I feel like come at us. It's not what I mean. It's just we're prepared.
what else did you say? Loud guitars.
Really cool
I like
guitars.
to crank. Oh, we have really cool guitars too.
It's true.
Gibson, represent.
Very cool. Now, one
Sometimes,
word
wait, one more. Sorry. Sometimes you can get a random punk cover.
and
We've
that
done
leads
Ramones, Misfits. Sorry.
and you know what? You just led right into my very next question, almost like you had ESP of where I was going. You've dropped the word punk several times during our chat here, and I'm seeing it all over the place online and everything now. What would you say the state of punk is these days? Are we in a revival or just a rediscovery kind of?
I would say probably a rediscovery. You get all these kind of legacy bands that are all coming back around, and I just went and saw NoFX the other night, and I hadn't seen them live in years, and oh my God, I had the best time. I had forgotten how much I loved that band. And they were we're getting Bowling for Soup. We just did a tour with Bowling for Soup earlier this year. They're a pop punk band from the US.
Mhm.
And I remember listening to them when I was a teenager, and I saw them at a Vans Warped Tour on a side stage, and then I don't know, it's like I time traveled because suddenly I was opening for them, and it was pretty cool. But that's
That would
another
be cool.
band. And Gob, oh my God, Gob's coming back. Like they've been playing more shows. They've been jumping on festivals. We got to play with them a couple years ago at Music for Cancer. And man, they're good. They're so fun live too. Punk is I think always going to be there in some form or another. And I think it's also really important that we encourage more people to keep creating it, to be rebellious and make music about your rebellion. And that's always going to pump me up, and I'm always going to love that. I think a lot of people do too, because that NoFX show is fucking rammed in the pouring rain, in tornado warnings.
Oh, rain just makes it even better. It does, seriously. I mean, I've been to a lot of outdoor shows, and if it rains, like, come on, just bring it on. It just amps up the enjoyment that much more. So, have you guys heard of the band, the Mary Tyler Whores?
No.
Oh, you got to check them out. They are amazing. Just they're a newer. I shouldn't say newer band. They were around back in the I want to say early '80s, and they just kind of reformed and come back. American Sex Fiend is their latest single. It's pretty cool. You should check them out.
Awesome.
Mary Tyler Whores.
Correct.
Nice.
I love that. And they're from the 80s, you said?
They were originally from the 80s. Now they've come back again. They've reformed and come back.
Why is this new information? How does that one slip by? It's like people think women in punk in the 80s, and they're like Blondie, and they're like Joan Jett, and they're like the Runaways, and it's like, is that it? Because I feel like that was all I was really exposed to were the really big names, and not that DIY underground scene. And we
Yeah.
heard all kinds of punk bands coming out of New York and the UK that were not giant stars, and we
Oh,
still know them
absolutely.
today. Sorry, that grinds my gears.
Well, you know, it's so cool though, because I do another show with a buddy of mine, Eric. He's from Montreal, and we're doing a punk show coming up in a couple weeks, and we're kind of doing this cross-Atlantic debate. He's taking North America. I'm taking, bless you. I'm taking Great Britain, and we're gonna go head to head and debate on what scene was better, the UK scene or the North American punk scene. It's gonna be fantastic.
Wow.
They were vastly different.
They were, but it's comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
It is. But what's your criteria though? Like, what are we? Because I feel like UK punk was more on the political side and maybe a little bit on the weird side, and North American punk rock wasn't quite as political.
No,
And not
just, and you know that's the glory of our show. We call it the train wreck, and we fly by the seat of our pants. You know, it's unscripted. We just go. We pull up information on our phones as we're doing the show, and you know, we'll just see where it leads us. It's a lot of fun, and it's usually a train wreck.
I always love discussions about punk because everyone's got their own definition of it, you know, and their own experience with it. Everybody's is different.
Absolutely.
And it's always neat to hear a different perspective of it, you know.
Now, one thing I'm impressed by when I was prepping for this interview today, I see that you've released Disenchanted on cassette. Are we seeing a comeback of the oh so humble cassette, as I point to my collection?
I don't know. I've been seeing bands do it like for a couple years now. I feel like Crossdog did it.
I have one on my
while
on my
ago.
shelf over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
have
don't know,
one
that
for
one was
Vigilante.
Yeah, that the cassettes was mostly Michael's idea. And
He
then was like,
insisted.
yeah.
I was like, it's this archaic technology. No one's gonna buy it. And they sell every single time we play. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what's next? 8-track. We're gonna bring it back.
I'm ready. Right there.
Amazing.
So before we wrap this up, I like to do this little thing called This or That. It's a series of multiple choice questions. You just give me your top of the head answer, and we'll go from there. All right?
Oof, okay.
All right.
No guarantees.
Cassette, CD, or vinyl?
CD.
Vinyl. I like you can put it on the wall and you can look at it.
I know,
And
but
you can see
CDs
it.
are nostalgic. I don't know even where I would play it. It's just like that's what I grew up on. I still have like stacks of them, like just the CDs loosely in this god awful.
Do you have the binder? You have the binder with
they're like loosely together, like in this. I don't
they're
even...
just in stacks.
Yeah, just the CDs, not even the cases.
Nice.
Anyway,
mine are all in the wrong cases.
Yeah, ditto. Italian, Mexican, or Chinese?
Mexican.
Mexican.
Iced coffee, iced tea, or iced water?
Coffee.
Ice water.
Pool, beach, or water park?
Beach.
Beach.
Video games, board games, or card games?
Card games.
Video games.
And finally, the big dividing one, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yep.
Yes.
That's a yep from me.
Yep.
It's unanimous.
The sweet and salty combo.
Yep.
There you go. All
Very
right,
satisfying.
ladies, thank you for joining us on this edition of Rock Talk right here on CGCM Rock Radio. Emily Bones, Valerie Knox. What's the website kids can check out more information on the Anti-Queens?
Antiqueens.com. Is that right?
I think so. I think
Okay.
that's the website.
Then we're all over the socials. Just
We are.
type us in, you'll find us.
And it's us. It's like you message us and someone messages you back. It's one of us.
Very cool.
Oh,
And
no, yeah.
I'll get the website address up here somewhere, you know, the way that,
Perfect.
or maybe down here. I don't know. It all depends on space.
Wait, put it here.
Okay, we'll do that. Right. It's kind of a Brady Bunch thing. We got that way.
It's true. I have it set up for a gallery, so we're all together.
Right on. Right on. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us on this edition of Rock Talk right here on CGCM Rock Radio.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for having us.
You're quite welcome. And thank you. And we'll catch you again next time on Rock Talk on CGCM Rock Radio.